We all want more energy, more clarity, more control over our time and focus. But we rarely stop to ask, what's actually draining us in the first place? In this episode, we start with the hard truth. It's not just the chaos around you that's exhausting. It's often the daily habits you silently allow into your life, habits that chip away at your mental stamina, cloud your judgment, and leave you feeling heavy and disconnected from yourself. Let's talk about the hidden costs of toxic habits, and why removing them is the first step toward rebuilding your vitality. The invisible energy leak. We live in an overstimulated world. From the moment we wake up, we're hit with a barrage of notifications, headlines, and scrolling. It's not just a habit, it's an addiction to noise. The kind of noise that fractures your attention and quietly consumes your mental bandwidth. Toxic content, whether it's mindless gossip, violent media, or endless comparison loops on social media, acts like junk food for your mind. It doesn't nourish. It numbs. And just like sugar highs crash into fatigue, toxic input eventually leaves you burned out, overwhelmed, and emotionally drained. But that's not all. When you pair this overstimulation with destructive physical habits, like smoking, drinking excessively, or staying up until 3 a.m. binging Netflix, your body begins to collapse under the weight of stress, toxins, and sleep deprivation. Energy isn't just a mindset. It's biology. And every toxic habit you tolerate is a withdrawal from your physical and mental energy bank. Identify and confront your silent killers. What are the patterns in your life that seem harmless, but are slowly killing your momentum? For some, it's smoking a pack of cigarettes to relax. For others, it's staying glued to toxic news for hours under the illusion of staying informed. It could be emotional habits too, like holding grudges, self-pity, or replaying arguments in your head on loop. Here's a simple practice. Grab a pen and write down the top 5 things you do every day that don't align with the version of yourself you're trying to become. These are your silent killers. Now ask yourself, if I remove just one of these, what would shift? Cut to heal, not to punish. Eliminating toxic habits is not about punishment. It's not about moralizing your actions or beating yourself up. It's about clarity. You can't build a vibrant life if your foundation is cluttered with things that erode you. Think of it like healing a wound. You don't keep rubbing dirt into it and expect it to recover. You clean it. You protect it. You let it breathe. That's what detoxing your habits does. It gives your nervous system space to regulate. It gives your mind time to quiet down. It gives your body a chance to recover. So the next time you're tempted to say, just one more video, or I'll quit tomorrow, ask yourself, am I nourishing myself or numbing myself? The power of subtraction. When we think of self-improvement, we often think of adding more routines, more books, more supplements, more hustle. But real transformation often begins with subtraction. What you remove matters more than what you add. You don't need a new morning routine if you're staying up all night. You don't need a productivity hack if you're emotionally exhausted from constant negativity. Before you build, clear the space. Clear the late-night doom scrolling. Clear the self-critical thoughts. Clear the energy vampires from your social circle. Let go to grow. Detoxing your digital and emotional diet. Just like your body needs clean food, your mind needs clean input. This week, try this experiment. Go one day without consuming anything that triggers anxiety, anger, or comparison. No news. No social media. No toxic gossip. Just 24 hours. Instead, consume things that lift you. A powerful audiobook. Nature walks. Soulful conversations. Time spent journaling or reflecting. Watch how quickly your mood shifts. You're not broken, you're just overstimulated. And that's fixable. Reclaiming ownership. You don't need a 30-day challenge to start healing. You just need one brave decision: I no longer accept what drains me. That's where power begins. When you start choosing differently, what you watch, who you spend time with, how you treat your body, you start reclaiming ownership over your life. And every time you say no to a toxic habit, you're saying yes to your energy, clarity, and peace. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt drained, even though no one said a word? Or spent time with someone and left feeling heavier, more anxious, or inexplicably sad? That's not your imagination. That's energetic influence. Your environment, the people you surround yourself with, the spaces you occupy, and the energy they carry, has a powerful effect on your mental, emotional, and even physical state. If you're trying to change your life but your environment is rooted in negativity, it's like trying to heal in the same place that made you sick. In this part, we'll explore why your environment matters more than motivation, and how to make simple yet profound changes that support your growth. Your energy is not just yours. We like to believe we're strong enough to stay positive, no matter what. But humans are biologically wired to absorb the emotions of those around them. It's part of our survival instinct. We mirror facial expressions, speech patterns, and emotional tones, often without realizing it. So, when you spend time around people who are constantly complaining, gossiping, or radiating negativity, you don't just hear it, you feel it. And if you're not careful, you start to become it. That's why emotional hygiene is just as important as physical hygiene. You wouldn't roll around in mud before going to work, so why bathe in emotional toxicity every day? Audit your circle. Ask yourself a tough but necessary question. Who do I spend the most time with, and how do they make me feel afterward? Make a list. Seriously. For each name, write down a single word that describes the emotional state they leave you in: inspired, hopeful, anxious, irritated, depleted. Then look at the list and be honest with yourself. Are you surrounded by builders or drainers? Builders push you to grow. They respect your boundaries. They support your goals, even when you're struggling. Drainers subtly, or not so subtly, make you feel small. They discourage your dreams. They thrive on drama. They don't clap for you when you win. No one's perfect. But if your circle doesn't nourish you, it's time to draw some boundaries. Your environment shapes your identity. You become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That's not just a quote, it's a psychological principle backed by years of behavioral research. If you want to eat better, hang out with people who prioritize their health. If you want to be more focused, spend time in quiet, intentional spaces like libraries or co-working spaces. If you want to be emotionally stable, surround yourself with grounded, emotionally intelligent individuals. You cannot grow beyond your environment. You can try, but it will feel like swimming upstream every single day. So, if your current surroundings don't match the person you want to become, don't wait for permission to change them. Create energy-supportive spaces. Environment isn't just people, it's also places. Does your room feel chaotic or calming? Is your phone screen a war zone of notifications or a space of curated calm? Take back control by designing your environment to support your energy, not drain it. Declutter your physical space. Clean desk, clean mind. Use soft lighting or natural light. It instantly changes mood. Add nature, a plant, fresh air, or even a nature sound playlist. Remove triggers, turn off notifications, limit toxic content, unfollow negativity on social media. You don't need a luxury home to create a peaceful environment. You just need intention. Distance is self-care. Some people are not bad, they're just bad for your growth right now. It's okay to love people from a distance. It's okay to outgrow relationships that keep you in cycles of guilt, shame, or low self-worth. This doesn't mean you're arrogant. It means you're healing. And sometimes healing looks like silence, space, and solitude. If someone in your life constantly brings chaos, demands your energy, or refuses to grow, remember, you are not obligated to shrink to keep them comfortable. Protect your peace as if your life depends on it, because, in many ways, it does. Choose your inputs like you choose your friends. In the same way people influence your energy, so do the books you read, the podcasts you listen to, and the shows you binge. Feed your mind with voices that challenge you, uplift you, and remind you who you're becoming, not who you've been. Try this exercise. Unfollow 5 accounts that make you feel insecure or negative. Follow 5 people who inspire growth, authenticity, and healing. Replace 1 hour of social scrolling with 1 hour of reading or journaling. You'll be amazed how quickly your internal dialogue begins to shift. We live in a world that glorifies self-sacrifice. Be there for others. Put others first. Good people give without expecting anything in return. These phrases sound noble, and at times, they are. But if we internalize them too deeply, we risk turning self-neglect into a virtue. We start thinking that being exhausted, overextended, and emotionally depleted is a sign of love. It's not. In this part, we'll explore why putting yourself first is not only necessary, it's responsible. Because when you take care of yourself first, you show up in the world with clarity, strength, and purpose, not resentment, fatigue, or burnout. The myth of endless giving. Let's get real for a moment. You are not a bottomless well of energy. You have limits. Emotional, mental, physical. And every time you ignore those limits, by saying yes when you mean no, by staying up late to help everyone but yourself, by skipping your own needs to meet someone else's, you are digging into reserves you cannot afford to lose. Eventually, it catches up with you. Maybe it looks like chronic stress, or anxiety, or unexplained fatigue, or a growing sense of bitterness toward the very people you love. You were never meant to give endlessly. You were meant to give from overflow, not depletion. What does self-care really mean? Self-care is not just about bubble baths and spa days. It's about boundaries. It's about saying no without apology. About leaving the party early. About turning off your phone. About canceling the coffee date when your body is screaming for rest. It's choosing nourishing food when junk is easier. It's choosing sleep over scrolling. It's choosing solitude over people who make you feel small. Real self-care is the discipline to do what you need over what others expect. Even when it's uncomfortable. The oxygen mask rule. You've heard it 100 times on flights. Put on your own oxygen mask before helping others. Why? Because if you pass out from lack of oxygen, you're not helping anyone. You're adding to the crisis. Life is the same. If you're constantly in survival mode, rushing, worrying, trying to fix everyone, you're not actually showing up as your best self. You're operating from stress, not strength. You can't pour into others what you haven't given to yourself. Want to be a better partner, parent, leader, friend? Start by being a better caretaker to yourself. Energy management is greater than time management. We talk a lot about time management. But here's the truth, it's not about how much time you have, it's about how much energy you have. You could have a free day on your calendar and still be too drained to do anything meaningful. Or you could have just 1 hour, but if you're focused and energized, that hour is magic. So, ask yourself, what habits replenish my energy? What drains it? Who makes me feel alive after a conversation, and who leaves me numb? Track your energy like your bank account. Spend it wisely. Invest it in what matters. And refill it before it hits zero. Stop apologizing for protecting your energy. You do not owe anyone access to you at the cost of your own peace. You do not have to justify needing time alone, or changing plans, or stepping away from relationships that no longer serve you. Healthy people will understand. Unhealthy ones will make you feel guilty. And that tells you everything you need to know. Protecting your energy isn't rude, it's wise. It's what allows you to show up fully when it matters most. And remember, boundaries are not walls, they're filters. They don't shut everyone out. They simply keep the wrong energy from getting in. The most important relationship you'll ever have. You will spend your entire life with yourself. So why do we treat ourselves like an afterthought? Why do we speak to ourselves in ways we would never speak to a friend? Self-care is not just about what you do, it's about how you relate to yourself. Do you check in with your own needs? Do you forgive yourself easily? Do you encourage yourself the way you do others? You cannot build a life of peace, power, or purpose while ignoring the person living inside your own skin. Start with you. In a world that moves at lightning speed, discipline can feel like punishment. When everything is one click away, one swipe, one instant reward, why would anyone choose discomfort? Why delay gratification? Because what's easy now usually costs you later. And what's hard now? That's what builds power, purpose, and peace. In this part, we'll explore the deep connection between discipline and energy. How saying no to the immediate leads to a life most people never reach. And why discipline isn't restriction, it's liberation. The myth of freedom. Many people resist discipline because they think it limits freedom. They want to live in the moment, follow their feelings, go with the flow. But here's the paradox: the more you follow your impulses, the more you become a slave to them. Sleep and miss your goals. Scroll endlessly, lose focus. Eat whatever you crave, lose health. Say yes to everything, lose boundaries. Real freedom isn't the ability to do whatever you want. Real freedom is having the power to choose what's right, especially when it's hard. Discipline is what gives you that power. The true cost of easy pleasures. We all crave comfort. It's human. But when comfort becomes your default setting, you trade long-term peace for short-term relief. Think about it. Junk food gives you a dopamine spike now, and brain fog later. Skipping the gym feels good now, and builds regret over time. Binging Netflix numbs your anxiety today, but multiplies it tomorrow. Easy pleasures have hidden interest rates. You don't see the debt right away, but it's always accumulating. Discipline is the opposite. It feels hard at first, but it pays you back in strength, clarity, and energy. Start where it hurts. Discipline isn't just about willpower, it's about emotional maturity. It's about facing the discomfort you usually run from. You don't want to wake up early because it's hard. Good. Do it anyway. You don't want to go to the gym because you're tired. Show up. You don't feel like journaling, meditating, reading. That's exactly when you need it most. Here's the truth: the moment you feel resistance is the moment you build resilience. The more you do what's hard but meaningful, the more trust you build in yourself. And trust is what turns discipline from effort into identity. Long-term versus short-term thinking. Most people live in a 24-hour cycle. What feels good now? What's convenient? What will help me escape discomfort? But high performers, fulfilled creators, and strong leaders live in long-term cycles. They ask, what do I want 5 years from now? Will this decision help or hurt my future self? What discomfort can I choose today to create peace tomorrow? Your future is being shaped right now by the habits you tolerate, the impulses you obey, and the standards you set when no one's watching. Discipline isn't about control, it's about vision. Make discipline automatic. Here's a secret: discipline doesn't have to feel hard forever. When repeated enough times, discipline becomes identity. What once felt impossible becomes effortless. You no longer have to force yourself to show up, you just do, because that's who you are now. Here's how to make that transition. Create rituals, not just rules. Make habits sacred, not sterile. Shrink the resistance. Start with 5 push-ups. 5 minutes of reading. 1 page of journaling. Small is sustainable. Celebrate the wins. Not just results, but effort. Completion. Showing up. Remove temptation. Design your environment to support you. Hide junk food. Turn off phone notifications. Keep your goals in sight. Don't aim for perfect days. Aim for consistency. Because small disciplines, repeated daily, build unstoppable momentum. Discomfort is a signal, not a stop sign. Most people quit the moment something feels hard. But discomfort is not a red light. It's a green light. It means you're growing, stretching, becoming something new. Lean into the friction. Dance with the resistance. Let the fire forge you. Every time you resist an unhealthy craving, every time you say no to distraction, every time you choose effort over escape, you're reprogramming your nervous system. You're rewiring your identity. And eventually, you become someone who no longer needs discipline, you become someone who embodies it. Most people think big goals require big actions. They set giant resolutions, extreme routines, or all-or-nothing challenges. But within weeks, or days, they crash. Not because they're lazy, but because the brain is wired to resist sudden, overwhelming change. The truth? Big results are built from tiny, consistent actions, not heroic bursts of motivation. In this part, we'll break down how small habits, so small they seem laughable, can completely transform your identity, energy, and future. Why big goals often backfire. Here's a common pattern. Someone decides to change their life. They create an aggressive plan, wake up at 5 a.m., run 5 miles, eat only greens, read 50 pages a day. By day 3, they're exhausted. By day 7, they've given up. Why? Because willpower is a finite resource. And your nervous system perceives massive change as a threat. That triggers stress, resistance, and eventually shutdown. Your brain doesn't want you to transform overnight, it wants you to survive. That's why change must feel safe before it becomes sustainable. The power of ridiculously small habits. Stephen King, the legendary author, once shared that he started his fitness habit by doing 1 sit-up a day. Yes, 1. Not because it made him ripped, but because it made him consistent. The sit-up wasn't about fitness. It was about identity. He was becoming someone who shows up. That's the power of micro habits. They lower the barrier of entry so your brain says, I can do that. And from that one small action, momentum grows. Want to start journaling? Write 1 sentence. Want to meditate? Sit quietly for 1 minute. Want to work out? Put on your shoes and stretch for 30 seconds. Master the start. Momentum will follow. Identity-based habit building. Most people set outcome-based goals. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to make $100,000. I want to read 50 books. But identity-based goals are more powerful. I am someone who takes care of my health. I am a disciplined, focused entrepreneur. I am a lifelong learner. Why? Because your behavior always follows your identity. When you become the type of person who does certain things, habits stick. They feel natural, not forced. Micro habits help you reinforce that identity, one tiny win at a time. The habit loop, cue, routine, reward. Every habit is a loop. 1. Cue, the trigger, e.g., you feel bored. 2. Routine, the behavior, e.g., you open Instagram. 3. Reward, the outcome, e.g., dopamine hit, distraction. To change a habit, you don't have to break the whole loop, you just need to shift the routine. Example. Cue, you feel stressed. Old routine, you reach for junk food. New routine, you take a 60-second breath or go for a walk. Reward, relief, clarity. Design micro habits around your real-life cues. That's how change sticks, by integrating into your existing rhythms. Stack your habits. One of the most effective techniques for building new habits is habit stacking, pairing a new habit with something you already do. Formula, after a current habit, I will, new micro habit. Examples. After I brush my teeth, I will say one thing I'm grateful for. After I make coffee, I will read one page of a book. After I shut down my laptop, I will stretch for 2 minutes. Why it works: you piggyback off something your brain already recognizes as routine. That removes decision fatigue and builds consistency fast. Celebrate tiny wins. When it comes to building habits, emotion logic. You don't stick with a habit because it's good for you. You stick with it because it feels good. So celebrate, even the smallest wins. Did one push-up? Smile and say, I showed up today. Meditated for a minute. Mark it on a habit tracker. Wrote one sentence. Give yourself a high five. Positive emotion wires the habit into your nervous system. That's how consistency becomes identity. You're not just doing the habit, you're becoming the kind of person who does it. By now, you've learned to eliminate what drains you, choose better environments, prioritize yourself, commit to discipline, and master micro habits. But none of that matters if your daily life keeps pulling you back into chaos. This final chapter is about integration. It's about designing a lifestyle that makes energy the default, not the exception. A life that sustains you, not exhausts you. A life that's aligned, not just productive. Because when your lifestyle supports your values, success becomes inevitable. Energy is not just physical, it's strategic. Most people think of energy as something random. Some days I feel good. Some days I don't. I guess I just didn't sleep well. It's probably just stress. But energy is more than biology, it's design. And that means you can control it. Energy comes from clarity, knowing your priorities. Boundaries, saying no without guilt. Casing, not sprinting through life. Environment, supportive spaces. Recovery, sleep, rest, breath. If your day is a war zone of distractions, unhealthy food, negative people, and zero breaks, it's not your body that's broken, it's your blueprint. Designed for flow, not friction. Ever notice how some people just seem to glide through life? It's not luck. It's flow, a state where your actions are aligned with your strengths, rhythms, and intentions. Here's how to create more flow in your life. Match tasks to your energy zones. Don't force deep work when you're tired. Do it when you're naturally alert. Batch similar tasks together. Don't jump between emails, meetings, workouts, and errands. Group them for mental clarity. Create transition rituals. Before and after work, do something that helps your brain shift gears. Walk, stretch, journal, breathe. Your lifestyle should feel like a river, not a traffic jam. Design your day around energy, not time. We've been taught to plan our days in hours and minutes. But what if you planned your day based on energy rhythm? Try this. Morning, high energy deep work, creation, focus. Midday, moderate energy admin tasks, meetings, movement. Afternoon slump, low energy breaks, light work, rest. Evening, reflective energy journaling, learning, planning. Instead of asking, do I have time for this? Ask, do I have energy for this? Build your life around energy, and time starts working for you, not against you. Align lifestyle with core values. What drains people isn't just bad habits, it's misalignment. You say health matters, but your schedule doesn't allow movement. You say family matters, but work owns your evenings. You say peace matters, but your life is filled with chaos. The solution? Radical alignment. Audit your life. Does how I spend my time reflect what I say I value? What activities feel life-giving versus life-draining? What would my calendar look like if my values were visible? Then redesign, boldly. Even small changes, like a 30-minute walk or unplugged dinners, create massive returns. Let life support you, not fight you. Your systems should support your energy, not steal it. Examples. Automate bills and groceries so you have fewer decisions to make. Simplify your wardrobe to reduce mental clutter. Create Sunday planning rituals to set up your week with intention. Set phone boundaries, do not disturb hours, app limits, to protect focus. Simplicity gives space. Systems give strength. The more you automate the basics, the more energy you reserve for the meaningful stuff. Build a lifestyle you don't need a vacation from. Let's get honest. Are you constantly waiting for the weekend? Counting down to the next escape? Fantasizing about quitting everything? That's not life, that's survival. What if your lifestyle restored you daily? What if your home felt like peace? What if your work was purpose-aligned? What if rest wasn't a reward, but a rhythm? That's what it means to own your energy. To stop outsourcing peace to external events, and start building it, moment by moment, inside your everyday life. Thank you so much for listening to this video. If this journey helped you reconnect with your energy, rethink your habits, or simply feel less alone in the process of change, I'm deeply grateful you are here. Remember, the smallest shift in your daily choices can lead to the biggest transformation in your life. If you found value in the video, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel so you never miss future content designed to uplift, empower, and inspire your growth. Your support helps this community grow, and it means the world to me. Feel free to leave a review, share your favorite episode, or tag us on social media. I'd love to hear what resonated with you most. Until next time, take care of yourself, protect your energy, and keep becoming who you were meant to be.